of the 4 children were then taken to Mulago, Kampala, capital city mortuary by police, and post-mortem examinations were done on them by Dr. Katongole Abdul, who described the injuries on all the bodies of the 4 children to have been on the necks, and concluded that the cause of death for the 4 children was hypovolemic shock due to deep cut injuries to the neck.
Nti emirambo gino oluvannyuma bagitwala e Mulago mu ggwanika, era omusawo gwe bayita Katongole n'akebera emirambo n'annyonnyola nti bonna baali balina obuvunne mu bulago, ate n'agamba nti ekyabaviirako okufa baabafumita nnyo ne bavaamu omusaayi mungi.
The police officers from Kabalagala Division of Police visited the center, which they termed as the primary scene of crime, and recovered the killer knife and the 2 other knives and a backpack which was also recovered on the accused person, picked some suspected blood from the compound, among others.
Abasirikale ba poliisi e Kabalagala bagenda mu kifo ekyo we batira abaana ne bajjayo obwambe bwe basangawo, ne bajjayo n'ensawo omuwawaabirwa gye yali alina, era ne batwalako n'omusaayi gwali mu luggya.
The samples recovered were subjected to DNA analysis and the report was admitted in evidence.
Nti omusaayi ogwo bagutwala ne bagukebera, era ebyava mu kukebera babireeta ng'obujulizi.
The police officers also removed the accused person from the guardhouse at the center amidst the angry crowd which desired to lynch him, and they took him to Kabalagala police station.
Omuwawaabirwa baamugya mu kayumba k'omukuumi, era ne bamukuuma abantu abaali batuusawo nga bagala kumutta, ne bamutwala ku poliisi e Kabalagala.
On 3rd April 2026, the accused person led the investigating team to his house, which he had rented in Chanja at Namugera Close, Katumba Zone. A search was conducted in the accused's house, and a number of items were recovered, which included electronic devices, 2 laptops, 2 mobile phones, and 3 hard drives, which were subjected to forensic analysis, and a digital analysis report was also admitted as evidence.
Nga 3 Ogwokuna 2026 omuwawaabirwa yakulemberamu abali banoonyereza omusango guno n'abatwala mu nnyumba ye gye yali apangisa e Chanja, era bwe bayingira ennyumba ne bajjamu ebintu nga laptop 2, amasimu n'ebintu ebirala.
The other items recovered were 2 American passports, a driver's license from the state of Virginia, a sanity report dated 30th December 2025, and 5 new knives, among others.
Nti ebintu ebirala bye bajjamu passports 2 ez'Amerika, bajjamu driving permit, ne bajjamu obwambe 5, ne bajjamu ne report gye bali bamuwandiikidde okuva mu ddwaliro nga bagamba omutwe gwe gwali gukola bulungi.
The accused was examined on police form 24 by Dr. Emmanuel Nwamanya, who testified as PW11, and he was found to be mentally normal. It was upon that background that the accused was indicted for murder in 4 counts, hence this case.
Nti omuwawaabirwa baamutwala ne bamukebera, ate yamukebera yali musawo gwe bayita Emmanuel Nwamanya, era yajjanga omujulizi w'oludda olwali ow'okumi oluvannyuma ne bamuteekako emisango 4 gya butemu.
The accused person gave an unsworn statement and called 2 witnesses in his defense. He had mentioned 4 witnesses but provided only the telephone numbers but without any physical address. Only 2 witnesses were reached using the telephone numbers provided by the accused person, and efforts to trace the 2 were futile because the phone numbers were not on.
Nti omuwawaabirwa yayogera nga talayidde, era n'aleeta abajulizi 2. Yali asabye okuleeta abajulizi 4 naye nga tataddeeko wa gye bali babeera, n'ateekako amasimu gaabwe gokka. Okukuba amasimu 2 be basobola okujja, 2 amasimu gaabwe gali tegaliiko.
It is important to note here that one of the 2 numbers that he had provided that could not be reached was an American number.
naye tulina okumanya nti mu masimu ago abiri emu yali ya America.
In his defense, the accused person did not deny killing the 4 children, but stated that he did not act intentionally or deliberately.
Mu kwewozaako teyagaana nti omusango teyagukola, wabula yagamba nti teyagukola mu bugenderere.
He stated that although there were claims that he was completely mentally okay, there may have been other mental challenges that may have gone undetected and could have contributed to the death of the children.
Agamba nti wadde bagamba nti omutwe gwe gwali gukola bulungi, naye wayinza okubaawo ebintu ebirala bye bataalaba okulaga nti biyinza okuba nga bye byamuviirako okutta abaana abo.
He said he was not mentally okay, and he also denied being foul-minded in the killing of the children.
Agamba nti omutwe gwe gwali tegukola bulungi, era agamba nti si ye yeeyagalira okutta abaana bano.
In respect to this, he referred to the book about war, which was part of the evidence of PW18, the digital analyst, who analyzed his flash disk and found that he had saved a book entitled The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The accused person stated that he saved that file long before, and it cannot be said to apply to the killing of the children.
Nti waliwo ekitabo omujulizi ow'okumi-na-mukaaga olw'oludda olwabiri kyeyayogera. Omujulizi ow'okumi-na-munaana yayogera ku kitabo ky'olutalo, era n'agamba nti ono yali yakiteeka ku flash ye, n'agamba nti ekyo kitabo yali yakiteekako edda, tekisobola kubeera nga kyekyaviirako okutta abaana bano.
He also denied being deliberate and with forethought while making reference to the prosecution evidence of PW18, which revealed that using his phone, the accused person had made Google searches on subjects including ISIS beheading and for schools that teach young children. He said that although these searches suggest that he did it deliberately, there were factors that forced him to conduct them.
Nti ye yagaana ekyokugamba nti abaana bano yabatta nga kigenderedde, n'agamba nti omujulizi ow'okumi-na-munaana yagamba nti yakozesa essimu ye okukebera ebikwata ku ekitongole ekitema emitwe gy'abantu ekibayita ISIS, ng'anoonyereza ku masomero g'abaana abato, n'agamba nti
he said that although these searches suggest that he did it deliberately, there were other factors that forced him to conduct those searches.
Nti wadde bagamba nti bino bye byanoonyerezaako bye byamuleetera okutta abaana abo, waliwo ebintu ebirala ebyamuleetera okutta abaana.
During his testimony, the accused person further stated that he was under the control of some people whom he occasionally called friends, and that they fell into 3 categories. He stated that between January and March 2026, he entered an especially distressing period because he was contending with some people who were surveilling him, making many demands of him, and threatening to kill him. They began demanding money, and he noticed that they had all the capabilities. As a result, he left the Bunga neighborhood where he was staying and began sleeping on the streets.
Nti omuwawaabirwa yagamba nti bino byonna yabikola olw'ensonga nti waliwo abantu be yali ng'alaba engeri 3 be yannyonnyolako, n'agamba nti wakati wa January n'omwezi ogwokusatu yali mu kiseera ky'okwennyamira, era ng'agamba abantu abo bamusabanga ebintu bingi, ne bamusaba ssente, ne bamugamba nti bagenda kumutta, era n'ava mu kitundu kye yali abeeramu n'agenda n'atandika okubeera ku luguudo.
He stated that because of this, he tried to end it some way and somehow, and according to him, he tried several things to bring the whole thing to an end, including fleeing the country, robbing a bank, and killing his brother's family. He then concluded by saying that those said people whose names he chose not to disclose to the court influenced his actions of the 2nd of April 2026. He concluded his testimony by inviting the court not to honor the charges for murder against him because there were some circumstances that forced him to act the way he did on 2nd April 2026, and this is the date of the unfortunate incident.
Nti yatuuka ekiseera ng'ayagala kubikomekereza n'agezaako okwagala kuva mu ggwanga n'agezaako okubba bbanka era n'agezaako n'okutta famire ya muganda we n'agamba nti abantu abo batayogera mu kooti be baamuviirako okutta abaana abo oba bye byamuviirako ebyo byatuukawo nga 2 Ogwokuna 2026.
Okay, there is a burden and standard of proof. This is known. The prosecution bears the burden to prove all the ingredients of the offense, or in 4 counts, beyond reasonable doubt. And I will skip that and I go to the ingredients of the offense of murder.
Oludda oluwaabi lwe lulina obuvunaanyizibwa okuleeta obujulizi obumala.
Section 171 of the Penal Code Act, Chapter 128, which defines the offense of murder, provides that any person who, with malice aforethought, causes the death of another person by an unlawful act or omission commits murder.
Nti amateeka gagamba nti omuntu yenna ng'alina ekigendererwa n'atta omuntu mu bunenyi bw'amateeka aba attemudde omuntu.
For the accused person to be convicted of murder, the prosecution must prove each of the following essential ingredients beyond reasonable doubt. 1, death of a human being, that the death was caused by some unlawful act, that the unlawful act was actuated by malice aforethought, and that it is the accused person who caused the unlawful acts of death.
Nti oludda oluwaabi lulina okuleeta obujulizi okukakasa nti mu butuufu waliwo okufa, nti okufa okwo kwali kumenya amateeka, nti ate okufa okwo nti yakukola yali alina ekigendererwa, era abalina okuleeta obujulizi nga bulaga nti omuntu ali mu kooti ye yaza emisango gino.
I will discuss all the 4 counts together because they are supported by the same evidence. However, the third ingredient of the unlawful act being actuated by malice aforethought shall be addressed last.
Nti emisango gyonna ajja kugyogerako mulundi gumu okuggyako ekigendererwa kyagenda okwogerako kyokka nga kyawukanye n'ebiri.
And I will do it last.
Kyagenda okusembyayo.
Death of a human being or human beings. Death may be proved by production of a postmortem report or evidence of witnesses who state that they knew the deceased and attended the burial, also the dead body. And in the instant case, the fact that the infants Eteku, Gideon, Keisha, Ageno Roth, or Tim, Ignatia, Seriang, and Odeke Ryan are dead is not in dispute. And in proof of this, the prosecution adduced the evidence of Dr. Katongole Abdul, who performed the postmortem examinations on the bodies of the 4 children, and he confirmed that they were dead. The parents of these children, namely Apollo Stella is the mother of Eteku Gideon, Komakech Marvin is the father of Kisha, and Bazia Rollins is the father of Seriange, and Okurutu Simon is the father of Ryan Odeke. They all confirmed that their children died and they were buried.
Nti kyokulaga okufa basobola okulabira ku baluwa omusawo gy'awandiika nga bamaze okukebera emirambo, obujulizi bw'abantu abaali bamanyi abantu bano ate ne babaziika. Bagamba nti Eteku, Keisha, Seriange ne Odeke okufa kwabwe bonna tebakuwakanya, kubanga omusawo gwe bayita Katongole yakola ripooti nga akakasa nti abaana bano baafa, ate n'abazadde b'abaana bonna bajja ne bawa obujulizi ne bakakasa nti abaana bano baafa.
Also, the evidence of one of the caretakers, Miss Namtevi Phoebe, and the coordinator of the center, Miss Aneta Goye, who were the eyewitnesses to the attack on the children that resulted in their death, also confirmed that they are dead. And the prosecution also adduced the evidence of the divisional CID officer, Habalagala, called Esserai James. He testified as PW 15, and the scenes of crimes officer, he testified as PW 14. They testified that they saw the bodies of the 4 children.
nti Phoebe ne Annette be baaliwo nga balaba omuwawabirwa ng'asala abaana abo ne kibaviirako okufa era bajja mu kkooti ne bakakasa nti abaana bali bafudde era ne baleeta abajulizi ow'15 n'ow'14 ow'15 yakulira okunoonyereza emisango mu Kabalagala ne baleeta n'oyagenda gye bakoledde emisango era ne bakakasa nti bwe baatuuka mu kifo ekyo balaba abaana abo nga bafudde.
Having considered the evidence and in agreement with the joint opinion of the three assessors, I find that the prosecution has proved beyond reasonable doubt that the 4 infants, namely Eteku Gideon, Kisha Agenoroth Otim, Seriang Ignatius, and Odeke Ryan are dead.
Okusinziira ku bujulizi akaanyiza ne ba assessor bwe bagambye nga bagamba nti abaana bana Eteku, Keisha, Seriange ne Odeke baafa.
Also, the fact that the death was unlawful is also not disputed, given the account of the eyewitnesses to the offense and the nature of the injuries on the bodies of the 4 children.
Nekyokugamba nti oba baafa mu bumenyi bw'amateeka nakyo tebakiwakanya olw'ensonga nti waliwo obujulizi bwabo abaaliwo ne balaba ate n'ebiwundu abaana be baabasanga nabyo.
And having considered the evidence and in agreement with the joint opinion of the 3 assessors, I find that the prosecution has also proved this ingredient beyond reasonable doubt that Eteku Gideon, Keisha Agenoroth Otim, Seriang Ignatius, and Odeke Ryan, their death was caused by an unlawful act.
N'olwekyo Oweekitiibwa Omulamuzi akaanyiza ne ba assessor be baamuwabula nga bagamba nti Eteku, Keisha, Seriange ne Odeke nti omukufa kwabo kwali kumenya amateeka n'olwekyo obujulizi bumala okulaga nti mu butuufu abaana bano baafa mu bumenyi bw'amateeka.
The participation of the accused person, in order to prove participation, there should be credible, direct or circumstantial evidence placing the accused person at the scene of the crime as an active participant in the commission of the offense.
Ekyokulaga nti oba omuwawaabirwa ali mu kkooti eyaza omusango balina okuleeta obujulizi obulaga nti omuntu ono ye yatta abantu bano obuliwo oba obujulizi obwetoolodde embeera ezaaliwo.
And in the instant case that the participation of the accused person is not contested, because the accused person himself did not deny having killed his children.
Nti mu musango guno oba ye yatta abaana omuwawaabirwa takiwakanisa.
I will proceed to also to look at the evidence that the prosecution produced to support the fact that it was the accused person who killed these 4 children. The offense occurred in broad daylight, specifically at 11 a.m. or thereabouts. The accounts of the eyewitnesses to the crime, namely Miss Phoebe Namtebi and Miss Annette Odong Agoye, the caretaker and coordinator respectively, reveal that the accused person with whom they had just been interacting in the office of Miss Annette was seen gruesomely and brutally cutting the 4 children with a sharp